And we're live.
All right, boys, we're back.
Yeah.
Or ladies, if there's ladies listening, good for you.
There aren't.
We're going to be talking about the rankings. We have a little bit of a segment later on the show. Super excited about that. But let's just get started. We're going to be looking at the rankings, the batch of three, bottom to top. We're not going to be super long on the explanations this week. We're just going to dive in. So, the bottom three teams are Mark at 12, Justin Thompson at 11, and Josh Kobayashi at 10. Any surprises there? I should look at
I disagree with
movement. Oh, bring it up. Talk about it.
Because Josh is definitely going to lose, especially if he moves Devontae. And one of Mark and Justin will win because they're playing each other.
This is true.
So I had Justin and Mark 10, 11, and then Josh at 12.
So this is no change from last week, just as a note. But you have Josh. Yeah, you do have Josh at 12. Okay, so as of right now, I guess I didn't make my prediction if Devontae's gone, because technically he's still on the roster right now. And as of right now, I like his roster the most. But that is helped by a 25-plus point Devontae Adams. 100%.
Yeah. Fair.
Which, for the listener, if you didn't, as of this recording, we have heard rumblings that Devontae Adams could be on the move.
We'll dive into that.
He's been, trading everyone for picks, so it just seems likely that he would try to move Devontae.
Absolutely. No, and
That's
by the time you listen to this podcast, he might already be gone, and this might be irrelevant. But yes, as of right now, the rumblings are he's trying to move him. It makes sense to move him, but yeah, so he's at 10. So I think I'm with you, Noah. If Devontae leaves, then I drop him at least to 11. Mark's roster is still a nightmare.
So I think these next three should be the same for all of us because they're the three that are also out of the playoff picture. So who are they?
Well, let's find out. So that's 12 through 10. 9, 8, 7. 9 is Josh Kessner. 8 is me. And Ken is at number 7.
That's what I had.
Interesting.
What'd you have, Justin?
I mean, I would argue like all three are not technically out of the playoffs.
Well, they're out of the playoff picture. Like if the season.
Oh yeah. I guess at this moment they are, but it'll be kind of interesting, especially with the trade deadline. Well, we know you're selling, Luke, but
I think I'm done selling at this point.
It's probably true, but it'll be interesting to see if Josh Kessner can make any moves. I mean, well, I guess with Ken, and losing Gaskin, that really hurts.
Yeah.
But
I mean, so Ken's RB room is something that was supposed to be a point of strength for him, especially. I mean, last week we talked about his lack of depth at wide receiver 2, and Zeke puts up another dud. David Montgomery's a bad running back. I don't know if you've been watching the Bears games. The O-line isn't helping him, but he just there's no juice out there. Like he's as plotter as they come. Could have had Mike Davis. The Bears, absolutely. And then Gaskin is his best running back, and he's out with no clear backup. So that's terrible. He was at 8 last week. Kessner was at 9, and he's still at 9, I guess, this week. The big change is me. I dropped 2 spots to 7. And I'll dive into the moves I made later in the seg, but I'm not disagreeing with where I'm at. I am, at best, peaking at the 6th seed. At best.
Yeah. Which, while we're on the topic of these two teams, I'm really proud of the league because our team name game is.
Oh yeah. Let me read this out. At team 8 or at team rank 9, we have D's Lutz, captained by Josh Kessner, which is awesome. Ken is still the Loudon Lizards. I'm never letting that go. And I'm Cuckoo for Cuckoo Puffs. If you haven't seen my team picture, go give it a look. It's hilarious.
It's great.
I have like an homage to the Steve Harvey, like happy to sad variety of coup. It's awesome.
It's and Josh changed his team name, and that's actually really interesting because that's the first time he's changed his name since 2013.
And Sam changed his team name as well. It's been a while, but we'll get to them. But yeah, Josh has become tanking for Trevor, which I feel like we could have been more creative with the tank because he's not the New York Jets. You don't want to be associated with the B-hole. with number 2. Anyway, that's the bottom 6. I don't think we need to dive into more. Like I said, I can talk about my roster, and I think similar to what Josh is doing trade wise. Anyway, at 6, 5, and 4, this is where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
So we have Cody Jeremiah Williams at 6,
Mm.
the Chicago Bayou. We've got Sam, which is now, which is what's his name, Lord Farquaad's Royal Team, and his picture's pretty good. So Sam's at 5. We've got Jacob Hughes captaining the What's Cooking team at 4.
What?
That's where they sit. So let's talk about that. Justin, you sound shocked. Why are you shocked?
I'm shocked that Jacob is so low. I guess I'm kind of the guy who's kind of looking ahead, I guess, and with the trade. I mean, so he just made a trade. For those who didn't know, what was the trade? It was he got Gus Edwards and Hayden Hurst, and who else was it?
And Nick
He
Chubb.
made a trade. Nick Chubb. And what did he give up? He just gave up
5th and a 7th,
5th and a 7th.
but he moved down to 12th and 15th.
Yeah, so clearly a buyer. But I mean, once Chubb gets back, I think this, that fills the RB2 slot.
Right.
And with Dalvin Cook, he doesn't really need an RB2 slot like we talked about. But I think this, to me, this is. I mean, I had him at 3. I think that's the lowest I can go with this team. I think this team it's hot. Went 2-game win streak, and I mean the ceiling is just massive.
Where did you have him, Luke?
Noah's got him at 3. Or sorry, I've got him at 6.
Why?
Really?
And it's just because I like the other teams more.
So who do
Okay.
you have above him?
So I've got you, not in this order, but you, Santos, Justin, Cody, and Sam above him.
You like Cody more than Jacob?
Yes.
Don't they have the same record?
Yes.
So, like, I don't see where you like Cody's roster more. Would you dive into that?
First of all, this week, let's look at Jacob's matchups. This week, Jacob plays against Dieslutz. I guess that's not a bad matchup, but he doesn't have Chubb back. Gus Edwards against Indianapolis is not a good matchup. It's a start, but it's not a good matchup. Chubb is coming back next week, and he has Hunt too, which is helpful. But it was on. Let me see. I was looking at their schedule coming down. So by team, hold on a second.
So I guess let's go position by position. So Tom Brady or Russell Wilson?
Russell.
Well, Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
But I mean, Watson's matchups are insane. I mean, that could be a push. I just don't think it's. I don't think it's an advantage.
Okay, push. So Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry.
Dalvin Cook, but not by a ton.
Okay. Let's see. So I guess his RB2 right now would be Kareem Hunt. Even though he's on
Let's just say
Cleveland
right
now.
Cleveland backfield.
Cleveland backfield, Todd Gurley.
Cleveland backfield, 100%. Not even close.
I mean, yes, the Cleveland backfield, but I don't think it. I think it is close. I mean, Gurley keeps putting up numbers. We've seen stinker games from Hunt.
Keeps putting
Chubb
up
can come back.
touchdowns.
Did you watch that game? Gurley was hardly on the field.
But he still scored plus 10.
He did, but he's hardly on the
With the
field.
touchdown.
Look at Hunt's. I understand with the touchdown, but he's getting in the end zone. Look at Hunt's numbers. They're not as consistent. He's been below 10 several times.
Right, but look at Chubb weeks 2 and 3.
But Chubb's coming off an injury.
Yeah, after a bye, like he'll be fine.
Okay, this is why we have our personal rankings. This is why we disagree, which I love the disagreement, but this is why. Okay, so the receiver overall, Jacob's got the advantage.
Yeah, I mean, so Julio, Mike Evans. I think you take Julio.
I think I have AJ Brown. So Julio, AJ Brown.
Okay, Julio, AJ Brown.
Julio.
I would say Julio. Mike Evans, Adam Thielen. Jared Cook / Hayden Hurst or Eric Ebron.
Or I have
First.
Goddard.
Okay. Oh yeah,
coming
got
back. And I think Goddard steps up in the
Okay.
coming weeks.
Yeah, that might be
and
a slight
then
edge to Cody if Goddard comes back. But like,
and then
if you're gonna give the
Robinson.
Goddard edge, like, why don't you give the Chubb edge? Because they're both coming off injury.
Yes, but the opportunity for Goddard. So Chubb's still coming back in the split backfield. I think he might be eased in. Goddard, whether he wants to be eased in or not, is going to play. He played 80% of the snaps last week. The targets are going to go up. Again, this is just I'm missing playoffs as of right now, so maybe I'm insane, but this is how I think. This is how I feel. I have a better gut on Cody than I do Jacob as of right now. That could change coming next week.
Okay.
But Cody's matchups after me, okay, is Josh Kessner, Sam. I guess that's a tough matchup. Josh Kobayashi, Mark, and then he has Jacob again. So Cody's going to lose 2 more games.
Yeah.
Jacob,
Quite nice.
Jacob's got Josh Kessner, which I guess is a push, or it's the same thing, right? Mark again, Ken Santos, and then Cody. I feel like, and
Yeah, there's a legitimate scenario where he could, if his team doesn't show up, he could miss playoffs because.
I mean, they're close,
They're
but
close.
Personally, I prefer Cody's situation right now. I can be proved wrong next week.
Fair enough.
Or the week after. As it sits right now. So
also, one other point, Jacob is our new number 1 in expected standings. So that also factored in part of the reason why I had him as higher.
What does that mean?
So that means that, looking at expected wins and looking at overall record. So he's the only team from in the expected win standings who's 6-2. So he's expected to be 6-2, and he's the only team that's 6-2. So he's the best essentially.
And in our overall combined ranking still has him above Cody at 4. So it's not like we've whiffed on that. Maybe I did. We'll find out. Sam sitting at 5. We talked in depth about Cody and Jacob. Sam needs that piece, I think, to push his roster over the edge. His RB2 situation's a mess. Tight end's kind of a mess. Quarterback seems to be working out fine. Burrow's been playing fine, I guess. He can have a big game. But I think he needs that push, and I think that deal for Devontae is a good idea. But we'll talk about that later. Any other thoughts about these 3 teams?
Nope.
All right, the top 3.
Oh boy!
At number 3, we have Justin Kobayashi.
Hey, we're
Big
on a
3-game
win streak.
Yeah, it's another 3-round jump. So 2 weeks ago, Justin was sitting at 9. Everybody, and last week he's at 6.
0-3 to start the season.
He's at 3. We've got Noah at 2, Santos at 1. It's tight. That ranking is 2 points apart. It's very close.
Wow.
So let's look at Justin first. Let's look at the meteoric rise of Justin. No, you want to you go first.
I had him at 5. Is that the lowest? I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah, True has him. Well, True
has
him
him
at
5. Yeah.
And I really like Jacob's roster. I definitely like Justin slightly more, but I put Sam above him just because of the wins. Sam probably needs to win 1 game, and Justin needs to win 4 out of 5 to secure. You could probably win it with 3 out of 5, but 4 out of 5 to secure.
I could still miss the playoffs very easily.
Yes.
But I mean, the roster is OP. You're dodging injuries, so big boost. Actually, I don't even know what I had you last week. Was it 6?
I'd have to look. I don't save them.
I'll pull it up, but yeah, Luke, go ahead.
I like this roster. I love the Gronk move. He's cashing in plus 10 the last 3 weeks. I'm afraid AB might eat into his production a little bit, but it might not be that much. But Godwin's out anyway, so maybe that's a push. But I think what I love about Justin's roster most is the running back depth. He's got 3 RB1s. Or not RB1s, I guess, but he's got 3 legitimate starters.
Yeah.
And that makes me jealous. keep on playing Aaron Rodgers. Lamar's lost it. You should have moved Lamar. I told Justin he should have traded Lamar. Justin was like, maybe I still need him. He's probably right because
I still think
I'm terrible at fantasy football apparently, but this is but he's still got Lamar.
Schedule is really nice.
I think the hidden gems on this roster though are Brandon Ayuk and T Higgins. I think that they both are weekly starts on another roster, and they're his 4 and 5 receiver. So
yeah,
overall, I love it. But so I have him at 3. No, I have him at 1. Take it back. I have him at 1.
Wow.
And that's just because of the injuries on the other rosters. I think at full strength, I have him at 3. But where the other rosters are sitting right now, I have him.
My team's not even fully healthy. I mean, Joe Mixon is still out, and
absolutely. But your backups are like Mike Davis, Giovanni Bernard, Greater Sign, Carlos Hyde, Tyler Irvin, AJ Dillon. I don't know, and then Greater Sign, Ross Dwelly, and I don't even know, bro. Like, who is your RB2, Noah? Well, the rest of your roster is so good.
I have a lot of RB2s.
So
he has it.
That's Justin. Noah, you're at 2. Justin, you want to say anything about your squad?
I mean, tight end production has been like it'll probably this is what's gonna happen. Rob Gronkowski had great 3 weeks. And now he's just going to go to nothing because I always start playing the guy like a week after.
Yeah, 1 week too late.
He does well. So, but I mean, McCaffrey, I wouldn't. I don't know if he'll be back this week, but I mean, if he's back and he's 100%, I mean, I love.
Hey,
I think this is a championship winning caliber team.
Hooper's on bye, but he's available. So get me in the DMs. Noah is at 2. It's close. It's extremely close. And Noah has had the worst or recent worst luck in injury. Kittle for 8 weeks sucks. Ridley should only miss a week or 2, which is a good thing, but still leaves him in a bind. Herbert's legit. Kamara obviously is legit. Diggs is good. Playing Antonio Brown this week. Playing Fournette. I have little confidence in Fournette. AB I like, but as a floor play, I guess. Justin, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, who's the RB2?
I don't know.
Good luck.
I don't. Is it Le'Veon Bell? Is it Zach Moss? Is it Latavius Murray? Why not just play both Saints running backs now?
That would have worked a lot of weeks.
Yeah, just do it.
I mean, that's what Jacob was going to do. It looked like he was playing.
He was. He was.
Yeah, what was it? What's Madison?
Madison, yeah, he was going to double up, and I was like, hey, Gus Edwards is going to get you 3 more points. Yeah,
I mean, I think tight end, what are you gonna do about tight end? You know,
TBD.
I mean,
hey, Hooper's available for trade. You can. I know he's on bye, but
I love how you tried to. You were texting me about Johnny Smith, the guy you traded away.
Yeah, I mean, I still like the opportunity there, even though he has been scoring 1 point a week, which is pretty sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, John has been a letdown. Any other Noah, you want to talk about your roster?
Yeah, it really sucks going from 4 stud wide receivers to 1 in the span of a week because I traded one away, and then Ridley and Godwin are both hurt. I don't think either will play, so that's rough. But I still like Herbert, Kamara, Diggs, and Fournette, and I still think I have enough startable assets to win the matchup this week. So then if I can win, get to 7-2, and then figure out the question marks with the ammo that I have, I think I'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean,
because of all the injuries, I might drop out of number 1 points for by the end of the season, but that's not a big deal. It's whatever happens.
Yeah. Division could be in play though. Could be.
True.
Yeah, you drop this one, Justin wins. He's breathing down your neck. But it'll be close. The ceiling of Kamara, Diggs, Herbert alone is
it's pretty tough.
It's so safe that you just need something out of your auxiliary.
Play against Dalvin Cook.
That was
Oh
insane.
yeah, let me send. I'm not. You guys are gonna see the meme, but Noah has made the meme for this week, and I'm gonna send it to Justin. You're just gonna hear his reaction. Hold on, wait. How do I save image? I'm
Are
just
you
gonna
send
send
to
it.
me over
I'm gonna send
text?
it on Discord.
Okay.
Hold on a sec. I should have thought this is something that like you think in the free. You're like, hey, you can do this ahead of time. Message. Right click user for more actions. Message. Okay. Attach file. Oh. Oh, I guess download it? No, can you just send it to him?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
I guess I could
while he
download
does
it.
that, I don't know why I did that. And just break in when you see it. Interrupt me, Justin. There it is. It's gonna be great. You're gonna love it. Yeah, don't play against Dalvin Cook. It's a good fantasy football strategy. You won't have to do that again until hopefully playoffs.
Here's the funny thing. Luke and I co-manage a team in another league.
Oh
and
yeah,
we played against Dalvin Cook last week,
And
we won.
suck it, Kessner. We got you, buddy. Your team is trash over there. Anyway, so let's talk about the number one team. Anyway, here's Wonderwaller. As always, he's doing a great job managing. I'm not surprised. He's got a nice wide receiver 1-2 combo, Lockett and DJ Moore. I wish I had those. Anyway, so quarterback play has been great. He's been playing the matchups on Allen and Tannehill. I think the question marks for me are just the running backs. I alluded to them earlier. Injuries on his starters. Right now they're in his lineup, but it could be Tyler Urban. It could be DJ Dallas, who's on the waiver wire at the moment. I just don't know. But the rest of the roster is strong enough that he could probably survive. He's playing against Josh Kobayashi, so he should get this dub. Move to 6-3. Looking pretty good for playoffs. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, he paid a lot, but he needed the receiver help because the rest of his roster was fantastic. So now, like, I had him at 5 because I was so down on the receivers and the flex. Now I moved it back up to 1 because he made the deal. He paid up and he got it.
Yeah, and let's Justin. Do you have anything else, Santos?
Yeah, I think it's just I had him as the number one. I think the team just needs to get healthy, but it's going to be interesting because he's neck and neck for the division lead with Jacob, and that'll be very interesting to see what happens. I would imagine whoever ends up winning out there, that's a big deal. It might be the 3 seed, could be either 2 or 1, and then the opportunity to avoid people next year. It's kind of a big deal. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top. And it's kind of been an arms race. I mean, because Santos made the trade, and Jacob goes and makes a trade. So, yeah.
Santos has got Josh this week, me next week, Justin Thompson, Jacob, then Ken, and then you, Justin. So at worst, he loses 2 of those matchups, and he's like 9-8-5. It's not bad.
Well, the matchup against me would be playoffs, I think.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Then look at that. Yeah, even better. So yeah. And I think this is a good transition. We can talk about the trades that kind of went down, or just trades in general. So Santos here, Noah said it. He paid up. He paid me. Thank you. I needed those picks, I guess. He went and bought some receivers. He paid a 4th and a 5th rounder. He was able to get a 6 back, part of a previous deal that we had made, and I think I gave him a 9th or something, or I forget. Either way. Pays in a 4th and a 5th, gets starting receiving. Oh, okay, great, even better. Good job, Luke. Even starter wide receiver, or even better starting wide receivers. He can let Galladay rest up.
Sorry,
it was a 9th. And this is a smart play, I think, on Santos' side. He doesn't have a 4th or 5th next year, but he has a legitimate chance to run the table this year with a
Yeah.
roster that's totally loaded. We see a similar move from Jacob, also traded with me. Goes and gets Hayden Hurst, who I guess Cook is doing fine, but Hurst floor and potential ceiling is great. But Nick Chubb is the real get here. And the plug-in starter this week of Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards might go away with Ingram coming back as a viable play, but then Chubb/Hunt are back, so he's set. I think let me kind of break down what I was thinking trading all those people away, and it might make more sense. Not that I have fully given up on the season. I've grown tired of playing the wrong guy. I've left tons of points on the bench each week, just playing who I think, and I've been wrong this year. And so my thought was to sell the guys that have name value, keep guys that I don't mind starting and are not going to get me as much if I sold them, and just run a roster of pretty much starters and dart throws on the bench to keep me at least somewhat competitive. If I miss playoffs, it's okay. Not that I want to miss playoffs, but at 3-5, my chances are slim. I'd rather be set up. I've gotten really nice consolation matchups or playoff matchups if I get there. And I'm really set up for next year. My last pick next year will be in the 11th round, which is
Insane.
crazy.
Maybe.
But that's what maybe. Yeah, I might move around. That's fair. Or it may not be crazy. But that's something, when we trade, you want to keep aware of. Is trying to stay somewhat competitive. You definitely don't want to lose, especially we have the punishment for the losing team this year. So you definitely don't want to lose. But winning is huge in consolation. Your better finish in consolation gets you a better draft spot, and that can make or break a team. Justin at CMC last year, but then I know that he was complaining about the available options to him on the turn. I mean, Hop has ended up being phenomenal, but he was looking for an RB, just didn't get it. What were your guys' thoughts on trades in general, or if you want to talk about some of these trades that went down? Because a lot of trades happened.
Yeah, the arms race that's happened has been pretty insane and definitely deviance from previous years. I don't know how long we've been trading draft picks, but this has been quite the last week of just teams selling out and teams buying in to try to bolster their roster before playoffs. I think I'm one of the only top rosters that's trying to hold on to all my picks just because I value them so much.
I am. That's because I'm 4-4. I can't necessarily bank on making the playoffs, so it's kind of.
Oh, true. Yeah. Yeah. What did you? What's the highest pick you've sent? Was it just a 9th?
The highest one has been a 9th.
Okay, that's the same for me then. So yeah, Godspeed to Santos and Sam. I think they're the biggest buyers. Oh, and Jacob as well, because they're gonna, have a hard time in next year's draft. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they won't hit on all their drafts and have a fine roster and make the right moves in season. It's like what Justin has done. Like, he still started 0-3, but he got the waiver pickups. He made a couple trades, and now he's right back in as one of the top rosters. So it's not like a death sentence to next year, but it's not a price that I was willing to pay.
Yeah, and to be fair, not that I'm complaining, but having more top end picks, I might run into a similar situation where I had this year where I don't know who to play. I had these players and no one's standing out as this is a must start, and so it could get annoying. But I'm not complaining again.
More darts you have, the better.
Huh?
More darts you have, the better.
Yes, that is definitely a philosophy. Yeah, and the trade deadline is Friday. No, you brought up how long we've been trading draft picks. I believe this is year 3. It could be year 4. It's been a little while. And I also don't remember a league year where there was such disparity, where there was top half, bottom half. Normally, I feel like, and I could be wrong, a lot more teams are in play come halfway through the year, but I could be wrong. But that's how I remember it. Where maybe you have a 1 or 2 teams that just got the short end of the stick. They're 1-7 right now, but most everybody else has a little bit of a record and more of a chance. And so the idea of selling out does not come as highly, because it's I want to stay competitive as much as possible, and it's one of the reasons why I've held on to my backfields that I'm going to be starting, and Deontay, and the guys that I like. Kyler was not being moved because I at least want to be competitive. If my ceiling is gone, so be it. But yeah, I'm trying to pull up all the trades that went down here. We had a flurry of them go through Tuesday morning. And so I think Jacob spent the most. So Jacob, as of right now, is missing his 4th through 7th round pick.
Wow.
To different people. And I don't know if his roster necessarily
Like
needed
4,
them.
5, 6, and 7, or like
Yes, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are all gone
wow.
of his ticket. But like you said, Noah, that might not kill him. He still has his top 3 picks. If he keeps a couple, I don't know who he can keep, but if he keeps a couple players lower down, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, my roster this year, I mean, it's pretty much been built around 3 guys. Keenan Allen, Hopkins, and then McCaffrey / Mike Davis. Like that has been the core the entire year.
And that was your 1, 2, and 4, right?
That was my 1, 2, and 4. Yes. So,
yeah, so
you really just need 3 guys. I feel like, and you can make things work.
Right. So I don't think he's buried, but I agree that it's going to be a challenge for sure. But I like the chutzpah. I like as a team or a manager who hasn't won the champion or the league yet. He recognizes he's in position. He's in play to go, and so why not? And I like challenges. Deal with the challenge next year. But I think you and Justin's viewpoint of trying to hold your picks and try to play your guys is good too. I think it's just 2 philosophies, and we'll see which one plays out better this year. But let's see. All that went down on the 30th or the 3rd.
And
So
part of my philosophy here was also just I've kicked the tires on some deals, but it's I think for my team. Maybe I just like my team more than I should, but I think for my team, I don't see like a move out there that I can make that's going to dramatically improve my roster. I think it's kind of like I'm at a point of diminishing returns. Like I guess I could go after Devontae, but I have Hopkins. Like I don't know if I really need. It would be tough. Like to get the capital, get it. I guess would be a lot. So that's kind of why I'm probably not going to make a deal.
It's definitely a big spend. Okay, cool. So that's trades. I don't know if you have anything else to talk about trades, guys. But let's do our little seg called Call a GM. So this is how this works. I'm gonna pretend, or we'll take turns, I guess, if Justin or / no one wants to do it. But I'm gonna pretend to be a GM, one of you, the audience, and I will call another one of you, who will be played by one of my co-hosts, who I have chosen now, and they're just gonna have to deal. All right, I'm gonna offer them a trade, and they're either gonna accept the trade, or they're gonna hash out, or they're gonna be like, "No, you're ridiculous. Get out of here. You're insane." So, if you guys would, no, I'm gonna be calling you. You're gonna be the other GM.
Okay.
And the other GM is Josh Kobayashi. Okay, and I'm gonna be Sam.
All right.
I'm gonna be calling you as Sam. Okay. Yo, Josh, what's up?
Who is this?
Hunga, it's me. It's your little bro. big chunkster. It's me. It's Uncle Sam.
This isn't something Wong.
You're right. I've changed my name. I'm trying to buy some wins like Lord Farquaad. That's why I'm here.
Bro, I am selling like you wouldn't believe.
I would think so. And so I'm here to offer you what you most desire. Draft capital.
All right.
And I'm after Devontae Adams and David Johnson.
All
right, so here's what I'm going to offer. All right, and I'm up for negotiating. But here's what I'm going to offer. I'm going to offer you. I have to offer you a player, I guess. So I'll offer you Wayne Gallman.
Okay.
And I will offer you my 2nd round and my 5th round pick for your 4th round and your 6th round pick.
I don't have a 6th round pick.
Wait, you don't have a 6th round pick?
Josh does not have a 6th round pick.
You don't have a 6th round pick. All right, for your 7th rounder,
Okay. So I get a second and a what?
a 2nd and a 5th,
Okay.
and you get and I get back your 4th and your 7th, and Devontae Adams and David Johnson.
Let me just write this down so I see it clearly.
Sure.
So I am sending a 7th and a 5th
Yes.
for a 2nd and a 4th.
Yes.
Yeah, I take that 100%.
You're pulling the trigger on that?
Yeah, if let's just break it down player by player. If I send Devontae for a move up into the 2nd, and I have to lose my 5th, that's not a big deal because I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks before the 5th round. So yeah,
Okay.
I take that.
I'm okay. I'm okay with this.
I don't think DJ is as valuable. He's definitely startable.
Well, I need startable because
Yeah,
right now I
'cause you need
have
RBs.
insert Colts or RB, which is
So fourth
horrible.
to 7th is totally fine. Yeah, I take that.
All right. Am I insane? All right. So now we're breaking. Good job, by the way. You played it, Josh, perfectly.
I mean, you also have to consider that Josh can just lose out, and if he doesn't care about his season-long stats, it doesn't really matter because
Well,
he
he could
doesn't Yeah, I guess if he really wants to not be the bottom team for the team name punishment or whatever it is, that's gonna suck. But his draft position doesn't really matter.
I guess he'll pick 6th. He'll get to take his selection 6th if he loses out.
Oh yeah, true. So not even last pick; it'd just be 6th.
Yeah. So
All the
he'll
playoff makers choose after him.
right. Justin, is that deal insane? Is that too? Am I overspending as Sam?
Wait, I thought I was Josh, right?
Yeah, you're Josh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Josh would take that. Yeah, I think he would.
Yeah. I'm asking. Did I shoot
Did
too
you
high too
overpay?
soon? Yeah. Did I overpay?
Let me see what Sam's.
Sam has made no draft paid trade picks.
So he has
he
all
has-
his picks 1 through
He has
15.
all of his picks. Yeah.
I don't know if Justin's here or not. But it comes down to which side of the arms race are you on? The Jacob Santos side or the Noah Justin side? Because I wouldn't be sending all of these picks away, but he's 7-2, so or 7-1, so he's gonna make playoffs, but he's probably not gonna win just by strength of roster litmus test. His roster, we all agree, is not as good as
Right.
as a lot of the other top rosters. So if he wanted to give himself a better chance and pay, it's only 2 picks. That's not a draft breaker, and he's still in the top 8 with all 8 of his picks, or top 7 with all 7 of his top picks, which is it's not the worst. It's not the end of the world. Metcalf caliber players won what, the 9th or 8th or 9th.
Yeah.
It's you can get top options through all of those rounds. So
Metcalf was capped too, so I don't know exactly where he would have gone, but still, your point is still valid.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, I don't know which way he would go, but I think it's not the wrong decision either way.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I can see it both ways. I started with the 2nd. I know that he was talking about his 1st. I think unless you're getting I don't mind a 1 to 2. If I give up a 1, get a 2 back. I don't know if I mind that, especially if I'm going to be picking in the back end of if I'm making playoffs.
If I'm getting Devontae, giving up my
depends on what
1 to get a 2, I
second
think I
you're
would
getting back.
be okay with that. I don't know if I would be okay with that from the Josh side if I'm only getting a 1 round bump for sending Devontae away. But
yeah, and that 1 round bump would probably be the 12th overall. So last time a 1st rounder got picked, that team selected 12 overall, so you could have a number 1 on the turn. So his 12 is gone. You got the 13. Yeah, so I think maybe giving it, if you're going to offer a 2 round bump, then going lower because I don't want to go to 1 to 3. But I just looking at the squad. Yes, Hill and Woods blew up on me last week, but they really haven't done that the rest of the year. And there's no juice. There's no ceiling player. Jacobs does it once every 6 games. You can't count on that. Sorry, Justin. What do you think? Is Sam overpaying in that if that deal went down?
So he's giving up a 2nd and a 5th, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. Considering that you've you haven't really given up much draft capital to get those 2 players. I don't think the second, so that's probably the equivalent. Like, who is an example second round player? Like maybe
Top wideouts, pretty
Melvin
much.
Gordon, Joe Mixon type player. 5th rounder could be, like as good as Stephen Diggs, Terry McLaurin. It could be like an AJ Green. Like I don't think that's pretty comparable, I'd say. I think you take that because Devontae is kind of the trump card, in my opinion.
Cool. There you go. We did all your work for you, boys. Go get that done. Go get that done. All right, Justin, do you have a deal you want to offer? You want to make a play at?
Deal for
Like you want to call a GM?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, not really.
Who's this? Okay, I've got another one. So this is fun. You can tell me if we should just cut this. We can cut this all out. This doesn't have to make that. Okay, I got another one. Okay, so Justin, it's gonna be you're gonna be I'm calling you.
Okay.
And you're
am I myself
you're
or am
Ken.
I somebody else?
You're Ken.
Oh, I'm Ken. Okay.
You're Ken. Okay. And I'm you.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
I see what you're doing.
All right. All right. All right. Here we go. Hey, Mr. Grenfell.
Hey, Justin.
It's good to hear from you. How have you been?
Been pretty good. It's been a while since I've heard from you.
Yeah, I haven't heard your wonderful I hope you and your wife? Yes, you got married. Yes, you're married. Of course you're married, Mr. Grenfell. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. I'm calling about fantasy football. I thought I was Ken for a second. Whatever. I'm calling about I flipped in my head for a second. I'm calling about fantasy football. And I'm calling because I have Lamar Jackson here.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that you are playing Kirk Cousins this week. And you are on the cusp of fantasy of playoffs. And I think Lamar can really push you over.
Yeah, he might be able to.
And so looking at your roster, I think if I offered a player swap, it would just hurt your roster too much. It would make any sense. So I think I'm going to be looking for a draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to offer you Lamar Jackson for Kirk Cousins, so you don't need, because he's trash. But I need to get a player back. I'm offering you Lamar Jackson for Kirk Cousins, and I would like your 5th round pick, and I will give you my 7th back.
So it's a 2-round bump for you.
It's a 2-round bump for me, yes. Because he's just going to sit there for me. I have Aaron Rodgers. I don't need another quarterback. But you need the boost,
It's true.
Ken, you're super thoughtful. This is just how I imagine
Rodgers
this
is past his bye.
So is Lamar.
So is Lauren, yeah.
So is Kirk, if we really want to bring Kirk.
We really.
Well, Kirk has like random bye weeks sometimes,
Oh, that's true.
Puts up negative 1.48 points.
Yeah, yes, like week 2, like this week potentially could be. This is the week. Your thoughts?
So I'll do that deal if I give you an 8th for a 10th.
An 8th for a 10th.
So an 8th and Kirk for a 10th and Jackson.
Yeah, and Lamar. I mean, Lamar is nice insurance. Like if Rodgers gets hurt, I don't see moving him for less than a 6. 6 for an 8th.
Maybe a compromise is in order. Maybe a little player bonus. Maybe a double swap. Maybe like a 5th and 7th, or a 6th and 8th, and like a 11th and 13th.
A 2-round bump. Yeah, I could do a 7th Ken, hear me out.
Hey guys, I think my internet's going in and out.
Oh no, that's not good. Ken, that's
Yeah,
West
it's been doing
Virginia
this for the
stuff.
past 15, 20 minutes.
I know you're in West Virginia, Ken. I know that you have the internet struggles. So hear me out. Lamar 7th, or Lamar for Kirk a 7th and a 10th, and I give back a 12th and a 14th.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you not hear me?
I would wait. Which one is Justin?
I'm Justin.
So you're sending me a what now? Or no, I'm sending
send-
you a what now?
You're sending me a 7th and a 10th, and I'm giving back a 12th and a 14th.
I would not do it because I'm not a lock for playoffs, and Lamar has not been his old self.
Oh,
So you can find another option for QB on the waiver wires. I don't think Cousins is that bad to play. Like he's probably capped at 18 points, but since I'm not like very in contention for playoffs, like not locked. A lot of powerful rosters up in the top half have been buying players in the bottom half. I would keep my draft capital.
all right. Fine, no deal. I guess that's that. Bummer. Well, a little peek behind the curtain. Justin is actually having Wi-Fi. It wasn't in character. He's actually having Wi-Fi problems. So hopefully he comes back. We'll carry the ship along. All right, let's move on to our game of the week. I think we should revisit the College EM for funsies next time because the deadline will have passed. Game of the week, Noah. Where you got? What's your game of the week this week?
I didn't even look. It's not mine.
No.
Sam and Justin probably.
Sam and Justin. That's my game of the week as well.
Well, I mean, it's not super consequential because Justin should win and Sam doesn't really need to.
Yeah. I think it
Cody
would
has
be...
a kicker on bye. The suspense of whether or not I'll get a new kicker, that might be my game of it.
Shh, don't bring that up, man. I want him to start Randy Bullock, all right? Last time I said start your lineup, and he did it, and he still lost. Hey, Justin's back. Justin, we're talking about our game of the week. If you can hear.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
No problem. So game of the week, Noah has said it's probably your matchup. He was taking a peek at mine, saw that Cody has got Randy Bullock on by, and I said, shh. Let it happen.
I think Santos Josh will actually be a surprisingly close game, and one that Santos really needs to win. Because
Josh.
he is tied.
Oh
top
yeah,
of his division.
that could be a close one.
If this is a Josh team sans Adams, though, I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, it's true. It depends on what happens with Adams and potentially
Adams
David Johnson
leaves. He'll have to play Shepard or Aguilar.
I guess Aguilar. I don't know.
I play Shepard.
Shepard's healthy.
Sure.
Shepard.
Okay, great. He's playing Shepard. He's gonna go 5 for 8 with 67 yards. That's gonna be his starting line, ending stat line. It's definitely gonna be closer if Adam plays, and the storyline of Santos gets to play a running back from Green Bay and has some sort of production because that's super on the edge.
But if Sam gets Adams, the Justin matchup becomes a lot more close.
Yeah, it's going to become quite a matchup.
Can you imagine using Adams to beat Cody and then being beaten by Adams?
Karma.
To be sure. Oh,
Do we want
man.
to talk about the 1 week trades, by the way?
Cody was the target.
No, I feel like you have the most difference of opinion between us, all three of us.
I just don't know about the kind of precedence it sets, but I think the way they've been used in this season has been fine. Because everyone's getting value, so it's fair.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was.
I actually agree with you, Noah. So I know I kind of instigated it.
This is your fault, Justin.
It's my fault, I know, but I mean, someone was going to do it at some point because I mean, I didn't just like come up with the idea. I got the idea from what you, Luke. I think you held a guy for a week.
Yes, I held a bench spot for Santos for a week as part of a trade.
Yeah, so that's where I got the idea from. So I think it was someone was going to do it at some point, you know. So I mean, I think maybe we have to put in some regulations about it. I don't know, but I'm slightly worried about the precedent as well, even though I'm the one doing it.
I made it clear. Justin brought it up. He's like, "Hey, it's okay if we like rent a player," and I was like, "As long as someone's getting something, you can't just like, here, hold on to my guy for a week and let me get your guy." Like, you know, that's collusion. When they and Noah brought it up. You know, everyone's getting value. So as long as that's happening, I don't really see a problem with it because your shot could bomb. Like, yes, you have a pretty good chance that Devontae's going to go big, but he could have another 8-point game, and then you just went 12th rounder, and Higgins went 13 or 12 or something. Like, it's still fantasy football. Chance is still going to happen.
True.
So I like the idea of spending to go take a shot at someone else's roster. That's just cool to me. Cool. Yeah. Game of the week. Sam, Justin, I think, is my pick
game
as well.
of the week again. Wow.
Yeah. Well,
it
helps that you're on the
Hot
cusp
team.
of like, yes, and you're right on the edge of playoffs. So like every game.
Every game is just gonna be my game.
and you're playing against another good team. Like you played Cody last week, that's a good team. You're playing Sam this week, that's a good team. Like that helps too.
Yeah, and both teams are hot, I guess. I mean, Sam's on a 4-game win streak. I'm on a 3-game win streak. I think those are the largest in the league right now.
Absolutely. Let's pick Justin, Santos and Noah's game. Santos, I've got Santos winning that game.
Yeah, I got Santos too.
Noah?
Against Josh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see.
I've got Sam winning,
Oh.
and that's me thinking that he's going to get Adams. But I will not change my vote, even if he doesn't get Adams. My pick is still Sam. But I think
What if
Justin.
McCaffrey plays, Luke? Does that change it?
If he has Adams, no. If he doesn't have Adams and McCaffrey plays, then yes. But
Even with Adams, I'd take Justin's squad.
Fire. Justin, you picking yourself?
Of course. I have to pick myself. And my team has finally given me reasons to have faith in them. But last year, I would have not, like, oh my gosh, I would have just been like, yeah, I'm going to lose. It's just happening.
And I'm picking Ken over Noah.
Even with Elliott's uncertainty against Pitt.
Yes.
Why is he questionable?
Hamstring.
Oh, hammy. Ooh.
Yoo-hoo! Big summer blowout. Yes.
I'm gonna take myself.
You do that,
I think
Noah.
I'll figure it out.
I guess to me, like, I don't. It's tough to pick when I don't know who Noah's tight end or defense.
Yeah, but it's me. It's the legend.
It's the Bill Belichick of our
I don't know who
league.
3 of my roster spots are either. Okay.
Still takes himself. That's balls. All right, and that's it.
I'm gonna take Noah.
Let's go.
Wow, you guys are gonna be so wrong come Monday. I'm terrible at fantasy football though, apparently. So never mind. Okay, that's it for us, boys. This has been fun. We'll see y'all next week after the trade deadline. Reminder: trade deadline is Friday. Get your trades done if you're going to be trading. Hooper's available for trade.